in a way, I think this whole shortening of the spring season, brand new roster, pretty much a brand new roster, it's really worked out in favor, and it worked out really well as far as confluence of effects. A lot of guys didn't spend a lot of time together last year, so there's all these new faces. There is a very new culture. I mean, we pretty much have 2 new coaches on staff. Keith was here last year, but he didn't even get a full spring in. Mac's on staff now, so there's a lot of new faces around, which has allowed a lot of guys that weren't maybe in a leadership position last year to take on new roles this year. Just there's a very different feel around the clubhouse when we're in there, and it's really nice. And I think it's really worked out in our favor. And to be honest, the other thing too is we're one of the only schools in the America East, definitely in the America East, even in the Northeast, that are even playing this fall. And for our guys, I think it's very different from the baseball world and softball world than it is for every other athlete. We lost the season last year, so for us being on the field, there's I don't want to say it's more important, but to me, being on the field for practice, that sanctuary has been reestablished for me. It's a 3-hour day where the world around you doesn't matter as much. And I think that our guys, I'm speaking on behalf of softball as well. I'm speaking on behalf of, I think, college coaches that are practicing right now. That 3-hour day when you're out on the field, it has new importance for you. And I hope that, I hope for my own sake that I don't forget it, because this has been, it's almost an enlightenment for a lot of baseball players. This has been a very new fall for us. It started out when we had the resocialization period that the NCAA guidelines, mandated for us, and just getting certain things done. So we started our fall technically a little bit later, and it was arranged by what the NCAA asked us to do, and then obviously within state guidelines and what the University of Maine wanted us to do is to make sure that we are staying safe. So there were certain things there where we kind of scrapped our old plans, and even now going into this, the back end of our fall, we're trying something out that's a little bit different as well. As far as being able to put a little more time and effort into our strength and conditioning this time of year, and playing maybe a little bit less baseball. But we scrimmaged a lot more this year than we ever have. I would say that overall this fall is probably going to be what fall will look like for us going forward, because I thought we got so much out of it, the way it was structured, that I don't see going back to the old ways. This entire pandemic has made us really rethink how we're doing a lot of things. From recruiting all the way to practice structure. There's been a lot of real positives that have come out of it, which is kind of surprising to say, but it's forced our hand to change the way we look at certain things. And it's been a really, it's been a very sad and trying time, but it's also been a very positive learning experience for myself and the staff. And it's forced us to really speak to each other a little bit more. The communication throughout the team has become a little more streamlined, I think, and I do think that the players have appreciated getting back to us, in a timely manner, and understanding that, the communication aspect is something that can really go a long way in making things run smoothly. So when we break for Thanksgiving, guys will be going home. They'll take their time, but we're leaving them here in a different position than we have typically in a winter, normal winter breaks. So, pitch counts. Pitchers are actually going to be built at a higher clip going home. Lifting is going to be, we're going to try to have them in a position where they're pushing more weight than they would be normally. The reason being is that if we can get them to a point where, if they only maintain when they get home, when they get back here, back to Maine in January, we're able to hit the ground running at a different clip. They had some rest time too, right? So, most of the guys might have played, but they weren't playing the same type of schedule they were in years past. Maybe they played 70 games this year, 60 games where they're usually playing, 120. The rest period was already built in for them. So we're trying to keep them closer to a mid-season form for longer, That way when we come back, and depending on what the season looks like, we can just hit the ground running and jump right into it. Obviously we don't really know what the spring's going to look like as far as really conference play and travel goes, but we got to be ready to go and start opening weekend.
For more than 168 years, Bangor Savings Bank has stood by its employees, customers, and communities. And we're not stopping now. We will be here for you today and every day ahead.
What motivates us at Casella?
I want to help our customers recycle as much as possible.
Because I care about the environment and how our company impacts our towns.
And at Casella Organics, we find new uses for all sorts of materials.
It's hard work.
But I'm helping people every day.
And that makes me feel like part of the community.
A community I care about. So I do everything I can to sustain the resources of our environment.
Casella, dependable, caring people, part of your community.
Out here, if you have the will, you can lead the way with the all-new Fisher Easy V V-Plow. Purpose-built to provide industry-leading features, performance, and efficiency, just like the other V-Plows in our lineup, but in a lightweight design that's ideal for businesses and homeowners using half-ton trucks. A strong yet versatile plow that handles the work and won't back down. The all-new Fisher Easy V V-Plow, built for Fisher Nation. For more information, visit fisherplows.com.
So, at the end of the year, we knew we had some needs, and with the transfer portal being something that's, kind of came onto the scene, a lot of guys looking for New Year's of eligibility, we thought that it was a good time to try and turn the roster over, and make a move and see if we can get some high-quality players to get us back on track. And I think we were able to do that. Now, obviously, we have, a full season to find that out, but, when we had the opportunity with coronavirus hitting, which is crazy to say, call it an opportunity, get the returners that contributed and, use the transfer portal and find high quality players and just get the roster rebooted. Certainly create some, a larger roster for a couple years going forward, but the biggest thing for us was that making sure that our incoming class, we were able to honor their scholarships. For the most part, last year we had a couple seniors that didn't come back. The way we looked at it was that we helped them get their education. We held our agreement 4 years to be here, and they all left and they're all on different schools playing and having their last year of eligibility. But it's really you make a promise to a high school kid, someone who's coming in, who commitment 21, 22, 23, whatever it might be. We tell them that their money's safe for the time period until we can get here and move on. And that was important to me, just make sure we can keep that commitment to those high school guys that had their seasons shortened as well. Well, I want guys that really want to get down the mud and be dirty. If you tell me your number one priority is to win, and you're willing to do anything to win, and winning is maybe it's your second favorite thing in the entire world, or second biggest motivator. Because for me, it's either a guy that really loves to win or a guy that really hates to lose. There's no in between for me. So we want one of those two guys. And, you have guys that, we're going to have a good mix of guys that love to win or hate to lose, but ultimately you have to be on one side of the fence. And if you're somewhere in between, you shouldn't be here. And I don't really want those guys. And usually when we talk to them on the phone, you can kind of get a good idea as to what kind of guy they are. And you have to be that guy here. There's no, you can't be, it's very difficult to be a very good Maine baseball player and be wishy-washy when it comes down to, the weather. When it comes down to having certain things that, the travel, it's not an easy place to be, but when you want to be here, it's the perfect place to be. So, getting our game out on TV last year was, the last week or two, both of the last 2 weeks was really awesome. It's really important for us, for our parents at home, right? So one thing that we face straight on in the recruiting process is, hey, we are a geographic outlier for those of you that don't live in Maine. But part of that is, we think is really important, right? So, by you guys supporting us and allowing mom and dad to be able to see, their sons play on the field, I think that was really big. I got a ton of positive feedback from our parents, so that was really awesome. I really appreciate you guys putting that on for us. A big part of the Blue White World Series is really just competition. We are using the blue white. We're keeping stats. We're using that to formulate our roster, to come out with what our starting lineup will look like, in the beginning of the year. So there's that competition basis that is something that you're always trying to breed. From developmental standpoint, the only way to get better is to play. And us playing more games gives us a chance to see guys, in a game situation, in a game action, and then we can go back and use time to practice some skills. But, the best way to get better is to play, and that's what we try to do. We tried to this fall, especially because we lost so many games over the spring and the summer. Well, I think there's a talent aspect too that's really exciting. And I'm really excited about our pitching staff, but it's the from top to bottom, these guys competed. Usually you get out there, and this could be an effect of not played and having a lot of new faces. Who knows? But usually we go out and scrimmage each other, and we scrimmaged 16, 15 times this year. Usually by 4 or 5, 6 or 7, we're trying to get some energy going. These guys didn't let down for one inning. We scrimmaged yesterday. A 6-inning game. It was kind of rainy, a little rainy, a little cold, and there was energy on the field for the 2.5 hours. And that's something that's what excites me, because everybody's engaged. Guys want to be here, right? They want to be on the field, which is, something that it sounds crazy to say, but you have to want to be on the field. You can't just be going through the motions.
For more than 168 years, Bangor Savings Bank has stood by its employees, customers, and communities. And we're not stopping now. We will be here for you today and every day ahead.
There's still time left in this year's building season, and Hammond Lumber Company is here to help. From free estimating and planning to design and drafting services and a wide variety of products, as well as complete home and garage packages. Hammond showrooms are open with CDC recommended procedures in place, or browse online and place your order by phone. Delivery is free within striking distance of any Hammond location statewide. Keep your project on schedule with help from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Do you know your Maine dairy farmers? Chances are we're a lot like you. We are parents, grandparents. We are small business owners. We are a part of our communities. We are your neighbors. We are undeniably dairy.
Out here, if you have the will, you can lead the way with the all-new Fisher EZ-V V-Plow. Purpose-built to provide industry-leading features, performance, and efficiency, just like the other V-Plows in our lineup, but in a lightweight design that's ideal for businesses and homeowners using half-ton trucks. A strong yet versatile plow that handles the work and won't back down. The all-new Fisher EZ-V V-Plow, built for Fisher Nation. For more information, visit fisherplows.com.
Black Bear Nation, it's time for your Medical Minute presented by Select Physical Therapy. Here's Derek Lupin.
Hi, I'm Derek Lupin with Select Physical Therapy, here with your Black Bear Medical Minute. Today we're talking about the role of athletic trainers, who specialize in the prevention and rehabilitation of injuries to athletes of all ages and abilities. They play a vital role in enhancing an athlete's performance and help to ensure that athletes compete at their highest potential and avoid injury. Athletic trainers are nationally certified and state-licensed healthcare professionals who collaborate with physicians to enhance activity in athletic competition, work, and general life. Athletic trainers can help you with injury and illness prevention, concussion management and assessment, sports reconditioning, and return to play or return to work after an injury. I'm Derek Lupin, and this has been your Black Bear Medical Minute.
Well, welcome to Coffee Talk here with Coach Nick Charlton at the University of Maine as we celebrate virtual homecoming. Rich Kimball, Bob Lucy. Coffee Talk brought to you by Dunkin'. Black Bear football runs on Dunkin'. And Bob, the search for the best coffee in college football has brought us right back home.
It has, Rich, and this is a great setting to celebrate Dunkin' coffee.
And to celebrate homecoming, it's a beautiful day for practice. And Coach Nick Charlton, how great is it to be back out there with the guys?
It's pretty awesome. You know, it's been a long time. I was telling the team we started last Thursday. It's been 321 days since we practiced last. And for all of our guys, I just told them have fun. And now we're kind of getting to the point after practice 3 where it's going to really start to be about execution. And now we kind of know the routine. But honestly, it's just been a lot of fun to see the guys running around and play football.
Well, I have to think, too, with dealing with all of these protocols and everything that's been going on really since spring football was canceled, has this brought you guys together even more so as a team?
Yeah, I mean, it literally has. You know, if you think about it with what we were doing in terms of the pods and trying to keep guys separated and doing all the right things in terms of the protocols, we have some guys on this team that just met each other 3 days ago, because they had never gone against each other, they had never participated with anything with each other, and we have guys who are really getting to know each other now. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun, and this is the time where we can kind of grow as a team.
Bob, you and I have talked about this in the off season. We kind of keep track of the comings and goings as best we can, and we've been very impressed with the group of new Black Bears that have joined this team since last time.
Yeah, I think Nick and the coaching staff have done an excellent job recruiting in difficult times. And they've got 37 new players, a nice blend, I think, of proven playmakers, if you will, and promising newcomers. And I'm really excited to see this group in action, hopefully in the spring.
Nick, how did you feel about your recruiting class as well as those transfers you brought in?
Felt really good about it coming out of signing day. You know, naturally, I didn't predict that we were going to go to pandemic mode afterwards, but it actually created an opportunity to keep up with them more than we normally do. So we met with them on Zoom throughout the summer, and we had to bring them in a little bit later, of course. But with the transfers, it's really about fit for us. You know, naturally, you have to be talented, but it's all about the fit, making it in our culture, being a good team guy, and we feel like we have a really great group of them. And then with our freshmen, these are great young men that are really good students, and honestly, they just want to learn and play football. So I've been very impressed with them dealing with this, because, I mean, even just something subtle like this is a lot for an 18-year-old to have to adjust to, and they've done well.
How's the leadership of this team? Who are the guys that you'll look to be in charge this year?
Well, naturally, I mean, there's a group of guys that have played a lot of football here that are a little bit older, and you know, we don't have as many seniors as we have in the past, but we actually look at it like a good thing, because we have so many younger players that have played a lot. And you know, naturally, the names. I mean, Deshaun Stevens is the big one. He's back, been practicing full speed and full go, so he's been great. Liam Dobson. Of course, Andre Miller, guys like that. So we're expanding that leadership group, and we have our unit leaders, we call them, which is a group of about 9 guys that I meet with every couple of weeks. And really those 3 stick out right at the moment. But we're waiting on captains and things like that, but there's certainly some leadership on the team.
Now you look forward to hopefully a spring season. That's going to be largely a conference schedule, but how much does that mean to these guys who missed out here in the fall season to have that to look forward to starting in March?
Well, it's the carrot at the end of the road, you know, and it's hard to go through this process. You know, college football, especially Division I college football, it's a job. And so for these guys, we're asking them to come out and practice and work out and do everything every day. We're a morning operation, so these guys are up pretty early. Today was a holiday, so we got to start a little bit later, which was nice. You could feel the energy off of that. But I definitely think it matters what we're doing with the schedule and then also with what the guys are doing going through the process. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now.
With all the changes and everything that we've gone through here in the last 6-7 months, how great is it for you to bring your staff back intact?
It's been big, you know, honestly. I think it was something that's kind of underrated, you know, because we haven't had too many staffs that have been able to stay whole throughout the whole process. So really to bring everybody back was really important throughout this because, I mean, you're bringing in a new coach and you're on Zoom and you're not allowed into the office, you know, that's tough. And so naturally we were very lucky to retain everybody. And really, you know, when we meet as a staff, when we put plans together and things like that, everybody knows this place now and they know kind of the intricacies of it. So we can really react and just go, which is great.
How's this changed recruiting for you and the staff?
It's changed. So, you know, we have a dead period through December 31st. I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going. But for us, it's all virtual. We keep up with these guys on FaceTime, telephone, and then, of course, on Zoom. And so we've done all these virtual tours with them and really just trying to stay in contact over and over again. You know, some of them are playing, some of them are not. You know, it's a real mix. So it certainly has affected that. And then not to mention the scholarship numbers that we're going to have to look at because everybody keeps their eligibility. But right now we have 3 commits, and that's a good amount for us at this point right now. And I think that number is going to grow. But we only have X amount of scholarships, so it's going to be a different year that way.
Great news last week with the announcement of the money coming to the University of Maine, specifically to the athletic department from the Alfond Foundation. What's the message that sends not only to the coaching staff, but to Black Bears now and future Black Bears?
Well, I mean, it's huge, you know, certainly that, not to mention the fact that that's a lot of money. So, you know, I think that it's going to help everybody here in the department, but, you know, in terms of football, it's critical. I mean, we're playing at the highest level of the FCS, and it's super competitive, and we're trying to build a consistent winner here. And that's a big part of it, is having facilities, is being, you know, able to have infrastructure and things like that. And I think the guys deserve it. I'm so grateful to the Alphons and everything they've done for us over the years. I mean, just learning about what the Alphon Foundation meant to us, and then going through that process was big for us, honestly.
Well, in just a few minutes, we're going to watch the homecoming game from 2 years ago as the Black Bears take on Albany. Bob Lucy, what are some of the numbers from that Maine-Albany game?
Well, Maine outgained Albany 360 yards to 113. Maine had 11 tackles for a loss, including 5 sacks. Keon Whitaker himself had 3 sacks. Ernest Edwards with a 77-yard touchdown catch. Chris Ferguson had a good game, 21 of 30 for 244 yards. And it was just a good team effort, really. Jaquan Blair had 5 catches in the game, and Darius Hart had 7 tackles and an interception. And Maine did what they had to do to win. They got out of the gates early, got some momentum, and just took it to Albany. Albany averaged 1.9 yards per play in that game.
And as offensive coordinator then, Coach, what do you remember most about it?
First play of the game. So, you know, we thought we had a good play into a good look. You know, there was a little bit of a tendency there that we wanted to attack. And I remember joking with Ferg before, and he said, you know, he was like, you really think this is going to work? And I'm like, just believe that it's going to work, man. I'm telling you, this is what they're going to do. And I was in the box at the time, and once we saw it, we were like, all right, it's going to score now. And, you know, ultimately it's about players. So, you know, trying to put guys like Ernest in good positions. And that game, the other thing I remember offensively was just Andre Miller starting to come on. That was really kind of, you know, his coming out party towards the end of the year and his beginning of, like, being a huge addition to this team. But, I mean, honestly, it was the defensive effort. You know, I thought we came out the gates pretty fast, and just our defense was relentless. I think they knocked the quarterback out of the game early. So that was the first game the young guy played under Kuffler. But our defense was just the heart and soul of that team and was relentless. And, you know, you play great defense, you're going to win a lot of games. So that was a lot of fun, that one.
Well, I hope it turns out the same when we watch it again today.
I plan on it. I plan on watching it.
And Nick, good luck with the rest of your practice season. We look forward to seeing the Black Bears out here for real, hopefully come March.
I'm excited. I appreciate it, Rich.
All right. Thanks, Nick. For Bob Lucy, I'm Rich Kimball. This has been Coffee Talk, brought to you by Duncan. Black Bear football runs on Duncan.
I'm Danielle from Team Maine.
I'm Justin from the Center for Student Involvement.
I'm Jack from men's ice hockey.
I'm Nate from women's basketball, and we're here with Bananas.
And this homecoming week, we're calling out fellow Black Bears for wearing other universities' apparel. And they're guilty of a Black Bear faux pas.
Excuse me, sir? Sir, excuse me. Do you know what next week is? Sir, yes, you. Sir, please come down from the tree. No! Hold it right there, ma'am. What are you wearing? Do you think there's anything wrong with this picture, Lindsay?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Bit of a traitor, I know.
A traitor. We have a traitor. Hey, 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 hey. Do you know what's coming up?
No.
It's homecoming! Woo! What's your name?
Emma?
Is that a lie?
It might be.
Okay, what is your name, ma'am?
Michaela.
Michaela. Does this look like a husky to you? Here, all right. So is this your first year at UMaine?
Yes.
Wow. And you didn't buy any UMaine gear?
I did the other day, and I walked this campus yesterday in that sweatshirt.
That sounds like a lie, Lindsay. Well, you know what we're going to do for you, Lindsay?
What?
We are going to give you more UMaine gear if you admit to a Black Bear faux pas on camera.
Hi, my name's Michaela.
I'm Lindsay.
I, Emma Willie, committed a Black Bear faux pas, and I'm guilty of a Black Bear faux pas.
And I'm guilty of a Black Bear faux pas. Woo! Maddie, thank you so much for wearing UMaine apparel. Go, Maddie!
Go, Maddie!
And here's a sweatshirt for being awesome. Thanks for having fun with us, and we're looking forward to spending homecoming with you.
And make sure you check out the bookstore. They're having an amazing sale this week.
Thank you for your support. Go Black Bears.
Woo!